Okay, so we are live, and this is our episode 2 of our industry KatViews. Guys, welcome. I apologize if I look a little tired. It's actually 2 a.m. in Moscow, and I was very, very excited to run this episode of KatViews because, guys, we have so much surprises for you today. For anybody who's been dying to find out about this crazy shift in the entertainment world and in the media world towards AR and VR, we're incredibly because we have a very special guest doing our webinar today. You'll get to hear from, whom you can ask questions, and by the way, log into the question in for a gift. You do so, and the question gets to answer. But without further ado, I wanted to welcome you guys to a new webinar stream every Monday at 7 on the KatViews Facebook and YouTube platforms. And here we go. Let's kick things off. And we're back. So hopefully you enjoyed that little treat. But before we get into our special guest and bring her on board, wanted to give you a little bit of a background about what you're going to get today. So we're going to profile our KatViews costume corner really quickly. So you'll always at the webinar get a chance to see some new costumes that we're working on, some new shows that we're working on, and our venue. So every webinar, we're going to actually be new and we're going to profile because most of you guys do a lot of it around the city in Toronto, and so we want to showcase no lack of in the city that a lot of them find out about. So to move on here. Now this time, I think we're in the beauty of this phenomenon is really not inspiring. There's no lack of beauty in the city, and I just wanted to a little bit of okay, so here you go. And that is I mean, it is just stunning. It's just here fabulous women here. It's growing and absolutely beautiful country. So, without further ado, we're going to bring in a special today, and we're going to welcome Ms. Chrissy, who is actually the founder of INDE and country manager. Those of you that have never been to the world of both to bring Chrissy on board. But let's see if there's a little bit about something about what's going to be. You recognize any of those? How about this one? All right. Well, if you don't worry, we're going to bring Chris to tell us all about this idea. Chris, are you with us?
Hi. How are you?
We are well. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit into the crazy world of
Sure. I'm really sorry. The connection's a little bit bad, but I think I've got your question. So my company, AccessAR, builds augmented reality lenses for social media marketing on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. And I'm the countrywide manager for INDE, which does large on-site augmented reality activations for events and brands.
And so by designing it, I'm going to share a screen for viewers. Are you able to hear me okay?
It's a little, you're breaking up a bit, but it's okay.
Okay, I'll try a little. Basically, their website, because for INDE-AR, I mean, there's a lot of whether it's broadcast, bar interactive, and from what I understand, you have off-the-shelf AR. So people can essentially purchase ready-made packages across different types of VR that they can display on site. Tell us a little bit more about that. So how do these packages working, and how can somebody bring it into their event?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, I just want to correct you on one thing. All of this is strictly augmented reality. So the difference between augmented and virtual reality is that augmented reality is screen-based, where virtual reality is experienced through a headset. So the beauty of AR is that you don't need to put anything on your head to experience it.
There you go. Okay.
So what I love about INDE's products is that they've taken away the highly custom sort of mystery behind deploying AR experiences. So previously, when event planners wanted to consider an augmented reality experience, they would have to contact a variety of different providers to find out how they could use a really custom purpose-built solution, and it could be really cost prohibitive. So what INDE has done is essentially build a set of hardware tools that can be sent anywhere. The AV equipment can be procured by the event planner wherever they are. And the custom content packages are essentially off the shelf and ready to be deployed wherever the event planner wants to integrate the experience. So the custom content packs, or the off-the-shelf content packs, essentially are designed to really sort of educate and entertain with a variety of sort of science-oriented or cartoon-oriented, or I mean, there's a ton of different packages available. But the beauty of it is that any of these packages can be deployed on a variety of footprints, and your audience can interact with the content on screen. So essentially, they'll be in an interaction area in front of a large screen, and they'll see themselves interacting with, in this case, the orcas in real time, and they can take videos or static photos home with them.
That's incredible, and I'm glad that you made that distinction, because a lot of people don't actually understand the technology behind this experience overall. So I wanted to show a brief video. Maybe let's take the source of video. Or let's take this one that you sent to me. So it was fantastic. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so for those of you that we're talking about, look at this video and you'll get I think that's where we go. That's incredible. Like watching things like that really blows my mind about how far technology has come to actually give people the experience where they don't necessarily at all or whatever. Um, I guess here's my first question to you looking at that. And by the way, those are the messages that you have with the companies that want to bring it right to their events.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure, as the connection went up. So those are some of the messages that you have that you're able to direct to an event.
Exactly. Yeah, all of those are available to be deployed immediately.
Perfect. Okay. So here's my question. What is it about the website?
What I really love it is the fact that you can take any type of 3D digital content and overlay it into the real world. So this is for AR. So you could take any character, any scene, and either insert the user into the center of the experience, or see yourself interacting on a screen in a way that you could never do before.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people don't understand this.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But it's like, instead of just going to watch a 3D, IMAX movie, you can actually participate, which is pretty new and pretty exciting. And to be able to, integrate this into an event so easily is the reason I love what INDE has done for this space.
And tell us around how did you in Canada specifically?
So INDE has been around since 2011. They started off building augmented reality applications, quickly segued into what they call broadcast AR. And they've been building really high-profile experiences around the world since. They've been really active in the US, in Europe, and in the Middle East. And they have deployed a couple of experiences in Canada. The Arctic Explorer scene that you saw was featured at the Toronto Zoo. And 3 of the different experiences, the dinosaurs, the Arctic Explorer, and one other, were just deployed at the Core Mall in Calgary. So Canadians are definitely interested and beginning to have some fun with it.
Now, outside of that experience, that you could custom design a package for your company, whether their own VIP, their own car, or a theme that they're trying to create. Tell us about how and this steps to somebody, let's say a company that wants to do a brand launch and wants people to interacting with elements of that brand.
Yeah, sure. Well, essentially, anything can be 3D modeled. It's just the same sort of technology that you would build a computer game out of. But if you say, for example, wanted to take a real person and capture their movements and actions on screen, and then allow someone to interact with them essentially in real time, what you would have to do is take the person you wanted to 3D model and put them into a green screen background. Their image would be captured, recorded, and then 3D modeled. And then whatever the script had been, or the script has, however it has been designed, it can be deployed on the screen, on site. So in the case of the Adidas Tango experience, Marcello was captured doing a variety of different tricks and either giving the thumbs up or thumbs down. So the idea behind the experience was that people were invited to compete against him. So he would show off his moves first, the audience member would show off their tricks, and Marcello would either give them the thumbs up or the thumbs down, depending on the reaction of the audience. So it's a fun way to even engage the audience around the person that's directly in the center of the experience.
So let's just do that for a second, because I do want people to see what we're talking about, because it was really quite unique when I watched it as well. So let me just share this. There we go. So guys, this is what Chrissy is talking about in terms of the Adidas launch that did a customized experience on site for their attendees. Okay, so we'll just launch it. All right, so just to give people an idea, so something like that was customized by Adidas to bring to their attendees to experience.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's important. And so at the tail end of that, here's my second question for you. How do you see AR technology impacting the live entertainment industry going forward?
Well, I think this activation is the perfect example of how you could use this technology to really, excite and delight your audience at a live event. So imagine if you had an activation where you had a variety of celebrity participants, for example, who weren't able to be on site. Or even if they were on site, there wouldn't necessarily be an opportunity for the audience, for the entire audience, to interact with them. This is a way for everyone who's attending the event to be able to get right in the middle of it.
And so do you think at some point AR might start to take over live entertainment as well? Or do you see it much more exciting? I guess what's that balance?
I think it's definitely a bridge the gap situation, because and that's why I love it, because you're not necessarily enclosing a single user in an experience in a headset. You're overlaying this amazing digital content into the world around you. So essentially, you're experiencing the physical, actual world around you with really exciting digital content overlaid into it. So, and I think that's exactly why it's called augmented reality, because it really just takes a scenario and makes it really, digitally exciting in ways that, you might not be able to achieve, in reality.
Augmented reality. and I've seen a lot of, I guess, I'm not as familiar with this, but let's say you take a concert, a live music concert, and you have a star that's being brought, like not necessarily on site, but is brought with, AR or hologram, or what's the difference that if somebody was to use projection mapping for just some of their visual effects, could it be combined with also an AR experience by bringing a celebrity to, let's say, visually appear at the concert?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's sort of different. These are all different scenarios that could be definitely combined to create something really out of this world. I mean, with projection mapping and holograms, you're essentially, inserting digital content into the physical space, and the purpose isn't necessarily like large scale interaction. It's more just a really entertaining.
Visual effect.
Yeah, visual effect or 3D object dropped into a scene. But of course, you could definitely add layers of these texts to create a pretty out of this world scenario. But yeah,
and that's where I think it starts to get fun, right? Where you can experiment with guest interaction and also visual appeal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's creative. So before we ask your last question, first of all, I wanted to give our viewers a chance to also pose a question. So guys, if you are watching, feel free to write questions in the comments, and you can actually open a speaker. So just a quick heads up how you enter. So no rush to win. Basically, it's straightforward. Enter a question for all right. I'm going to give you a minute to regroup and if you're once again you win. And before we let's go to our quick for some time. All right. So that was a very, very quick preview of just the costumes that we just did at the recent Ripley's ILEA Gala held at the Ripley's Aquarium. And those are fun little mermaid costumes that you guys can have at your event, whether it's as a greeter or as a live living mermaid table. So feel free to reach out to us for more info on that. But we're not quite at the level of augmented reality yet, but maybe at some point we'll have mermaids actually swimming by the crowd with Chrissy's help to sort of get us on board for our next event. So
the living mermaid table was my favorite. Oh, she was absolutely fabulous, and I definitely took some desserts off of her table.
Yes, and Chrissy was at the end. I unfortunately had to because I give it back to her. Yeah, I am part of that association. So big to all right, let's from the audience. Now we do. So I question. And what is the biggest secret what is the biggest he doesn't get to see? So what happened behind that? Maybe
that's a great question. And I mean, for me, I'm always really dazzled by the talents of the 3D modelers and artists that actually create the 3D content. There's a real artistry behind it. If you haven't experienced AR, you definitely see, the type of content I'm talking about in your favorite video game, for example. But you can really get the most beautiful detail and reflecting light, when you're working with a really skilled artist. So these experiences are incredibly lifelike. And, the technology has come so much further than it was even 5 years ago. So it almost, we're getting very, very close to having really hyper-realistic interaction with 3D content.
And so when you bought was I'm assuming they're modeling already when they're creating the modeling for it. Now, has I guess how do I say that? Does the artist typically come on site to clients about how they would like to be drawn if it is a custom being created?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends if they're creating, a fairy tale scene, for example, or a imaginary character. But imagine they wanted to take one of your mermaids and make them into an AR experience or integrate them into an AR experience. They could either work from a photo, for example, or a series of photos, or in fact, you can even capture the images of a person using 360 photography. And then they would build off of that and using, a variety of different 3D modeling softwares. Then they create their art at the end of it.
Very, very cool. You said the world that I know nothing about. So intrigued by it, and I think a lot of people are dipping toes into utilizing their and I just think it's and I was really surprised I run into and really that it's actually accessible to have at an event. I mean, it's not only for the big conglomerate. You can have a small scale event whether it's a custom experience or a pre experience.
Yeah, exactly. The off-the-shelf experiences, the prices are very accessible. And then creating custom content isn't as expensive as people might think. So if anyone's interested, I'd love to. Yeah. So I look forward to hearing from some of your viewers.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and appreciate you tuning in. And so just to remind everybody, guys, please visit our INDE website. It's industry.com, and you can see about any of the experiences that you saw today at Chrissy@indie.com. And I would strongly suggest that you follow this phenomenal company on Instagram. So we can always see. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll put a link to how people can and can't wait to work together.
Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait till you're back in Toronto. Excellent. Bye now.
Take care. Bye. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Until next time when I'm back in Toronto, and hopefully it's not 2 a.m. my time next time, and look forward for episode 3 in another 2 weeks. Take care.